My daughter was the world to me.
A family fights for justice weeks after losing their daughter in that pedestrian bridge collapse in Miami.
And these hot and dry conditions are the perfect combination for wildfires. I'm live at the Florida Forest Service with how you can protect your home.
Because I can feel the power of the gun being, the weapon being used in this murder situation.
And we are learning more this morning about the motive behind yesterday's shooting at YouTube's headquarters that left 3 people injured. We have those stories plus your first alert weather and traffic. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
You know, I have a niece that works at YouTube.
Do you really?
Yeah, a 25-year-old. I called my brother. Is she okay? She was at the Google headquarters in Menlo Park, so she was fine. But
wow. Scary moments there yesterday morning, too.
Yeah.
People were not quite sure what was happening that
Another
morning.
workplace shooting. We'll have more on that story on the way. But first, a guy with a new haircut, John Scalzi.
Yes, indeed.
We are loving your look, John Scalzi. Nicely
3 pounds
done.
lighter this morning.
Looks like it. You can run faster now.
That's right.
Cuts on your wind
Jump higher.
resistance.
Jump higher.
Less wind resistance.
Take it away.
Exactly.
Feels good. We have across the region a cold front just to our north. That's what we've been talking about really for about a week now. That cold front sinking southward is going to basically just fall apart, but we will pick up a little extra cloud cover across the region. It's producing some pretty good showers. Yes, it is the one that had the history of severe weather yesterday. Now, as it moves closer to us, we're going to be lucky to even get a shower out of this one, really. I mean, it's going to fall apart as it moves down the state of Florida. Nevertheless, it could produce some rain showers for parts of Tallahassee and the northern part of the state. If you are driving today and heading out toward the north, well, by the time you hit the afternoon, you'll probably encounter some showers from that storm. But for us, I don't think we're going to see much. We'll put the rain chance at maybe 20% late in the day. We'll detail the timing coming up in a few. Temperatures across the region generally in the 60s, mid to upper 60s, about where we were yesterday. We'll top it out a little cooler than we did yesterday, coming in at about 80 degrees. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic now. Yeah, be aware of that ongoing issue. You probably are already if you use this area at 64 and I-75. They are rebuilding the off-ramp there, and it's right in the mid-construction, so that's an ongoing issue, and there's the icon to prove it. Otherwise clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south, the northern half of Sarasota County. Only red I see is under the words Bee Ridge Road there in the eastbound lane out by Cattleman as you head toward the interstate. Otherwise clear. And our South County map will show us nothing to speak of traffic-wise right now at 5:02 on this Wednesday morning.
Well, right now, extremely dry weather is keeping firefighters busy. There are currently 31 active wildfires all over the state. They've already burned about 34,000 acres.
Here in the Suncoast, we already have about 3 dozen wildfires just in Sarasota and Manatee counties alone. Our Marla Spence has details of the story live in Bradenton. Marla?
Good morning, guys. I'm live at the Florida Forest Service in Bradenton, and this is where crews are staying all around the clock, and they are prepared and ready to respond to any wildfires that may ignite at any time. According to the Florida Forest Service, the number of wildfires have increased every year. So far this year, there have already been 22 wildfires in Sarasota County compared to just 14 during the same time period last year. According to the Manatee County Florida Forest Service, there's already been 17 wildfires this year compared to last year's 7 wildfires. Robert Jefferson, a state wildland firefighter, tells us many of these fires are caused by people.
Just from anywhere from bee smokers to mowers catching stuff on fire to people just letting their campfires get out or illegal burning.
Jefferson says if you want to burn debris in your yard, you first have to call the Florida Forest Service to make sure it's okay based on the weather conditions. Coming up at 5:30, how you can protect your home from any wildfires if you live in or nearby a wooded area. That's coming up at 5:30. Reporting live in Bradenton, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, Marla. For the latest on this story and breaking news in the forecast, check out our app under My Suncoast or WWSB.
Well, a developing story this morning. We now know more of what was behind yesterday's shooting at YouTube headquarters in Southern California. Police say 39-year-old Nasim Agdam opened fire with a handgun in an outdoor courtyard yesterday, shooting others, then killing herself. Now, sources confirm that she was a YouTuber herself, and she was frustrated by the changes that YouTube had made in their policies and platform. As of right now, though, police believe she did act alone. Now, some employees actually thought they were hearing balloons popping when it first started.
Like maybe 15, 17 shots.
I saw the victim. She was in the dining room and she had a leg injury. That's a gunshot wound.
And a Northern California hospital is now treating 3 people, 1 man in critical condition and 2 other women who are in serious and fair condition. A 4th victim was also injured running from the scene. Now, YouTube headquarters is home to just over 1,100 employees.
We are learning more from the family of one of the victims killed in the bridge collapse in Miami. The father of the Florida International University freshman Alexa Duran has filed a lawsuit in connection with last month's collapse. Duran was driving her SUV with a friend in the front passenger seat when the bridge came down on the top of their vehicle, trapping her inside. Her friend escaped. The family is suing the 8 companies involved in the construction and design of that bridge.
Oh, I fucking face not having her.
This is a compounding of multiple errors by multiple companies.
The lawsuit they filed last Friday is the 9th filed on behalf of victims of that bridge collapse.
Well, today marks the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and many are taking the time today to honor him and his work. The American Federation of State, City, and Municipal Employees honored a speech that King delivered 50 years ago. It was the I've Been to the Mountaintop speech in 1968 at the Masonic Temple in Memphis, Tennessee. That day, the main topic of the speech was the Memphis sanitation strike, but it also touched on many of King's ideas involving nonviolent protest.
We as a family have been speaking about it for years, but we didn't know that some young students, high school students, would lead a movement like they are today.
Now, it was the last speech that King would ever give. He was assassinated the next day on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. James Earl Ray was convicted of the murder, sentenced to 99 years in prison, where he later died of a hepatitis C infection in 1998.
Happening today in Memphis, thousands are expected, in fact 50,000 are expected to gather at the National Civil Rights Museum to honor Dr. King. Police are increasing security. The museum is set to unveil a new exhibit to mark the occasion called MLK 50, a legacy remembered.
One Bradenton neighborhood is looking to brighten up their area, literally. Residents who live in the Samoset area have been pushing for street lights in the area for years now, saying that the neighborhood is simply too dark at night. They just recently got the necessary amount of signatures from people who live there to now move ahead with the next step. Now, since not all of the residents are on board with more lights, the street lights would only go up on a few of the streets in that area. Now, those who are in favor of better lighting there say it would make the area safer.
The main concerns is the public safety. I mean, we have kids that's in the neighborhood, and without lighting, it's a infestation of crime, drugs.
I think the streetlights would make a huge difference because I think the visibility prevents crime. I think it will help the police do their jobs. It'll also make it safer for the children coming home at night at sunset.
Manatee County officials say a public meeting regarding those streetlights will take place later on this summer. Embracing our differences, both the name of an art exhibit and the goal of the project itself. 45 billboard-sized works of art from students at 227 schools all around the world submitted artwork, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. In honor of the exhibit's 15th anniversary, 15 of those pieces on display represent a special collection of past work. Now, if you want to check out the exhibit for yourself, it actually begins today and it runs through June 1st at Sarasota's Island Park.
This is a live look at where the Columbus replica ships are docked right now at Fisherman's Wharf, not too far from the 41 bypass in Venice. But you have to act fast because those 2 replica ships are leaving today. They have been in Venice for the past week, and they'll set off today. You can probably still catch them if you go out there this morning after daybreak. So there's the scene right now, a live picture from Venice.
Beach tilling in Venice began overnight. Advantage construction started from the South Jetty to South Broward Park. Now, beach tilling is actually required annually, and it helps marine turtle nesting conditions. Equipment will be in use out on the beach this morning from around 6 to about 11, and beach visitors are cautioned to be careful around it.
Well, nearly 1 week into the season, the Tampa Bay Rays are off to an all-too-familiar start, a losing record of 1-4 and low attendance at their first series at home. This is the Rays' 20th season, and some say the days could be numbered in St. Petersburg. There's talk of the team moving anywhere from across the region to Ybor City to across the continent to Montreal. I talked to the team president last week, and he says he hopes the Suncoast baseball fans will help keep the team where they are.
We're a regional team, and Sarasota Manatee is so close. In fact, many parts of it are closer than Tampa. And so when we look at our fan base, we look at the entire Tampa Bay region, including Sarasota Manatee, and we think that if we can draw crowds from all around, we're going to be more successful. Tropicana Field's going to be more vibrant, and really we just want everyone to be able to enjoy a game at the ballpark.
So next hour at 6, a much closer look at the state of the Rays 1 week into the season. Of course, they sold out the first game. That often happens. But then after that game, it went right downhill. Put it this way, when the Rays first began 20 years ago, they averaged 30,000 fans a game.
Right. That sounds about right.
Now they average 15,000. Lowest in the league.
Yes, I know. It's tough to get those people in there. They also have a lot of daytime games, which is hard again, too. You've got people at work, and
every city,
hard.
Every baseball city does.
They do. They
somehow
have that struggle.
Somehow they make it there.
All right. Well, maybe the move. Maybe if they do move it to Ybor City, maybe that will help.
Well, that's a big debate. We'll talk more about that next hour. Still ahead this hour, First Alert traffic. And the state wants to reduce visitations for inmates. We'll hear from both sides. And
coming up a little later in the hour, a mandatory recall has been issued for a product that's used for pain relief to help opioid withdrawal. Stick around.
Here's a peek outside our window. Looks like a pretty clear day shaping up. Let's ask the expert, though, John Scalzi.
Yeah, you know, it's not going to be a bad day at all. I haven't checked any of the inclement weather boxes for the commute, either to work or back from work later this afternoon. You know, we may get an isolated shower, but it's not going to be much, and it certainly isn't going to be widespread. Temperature in the upper 60s to low 70s to start off your drive this morning, and then low 80s when you come home this evening. And in fact, the temperature will probably be very close to the 80-degree mark. Any of the hubs serving the Sarasota International Airport are running on time this morning. No area-wide delays reported by the FAA. Complete forecast coming back in a few.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Now, your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Oh, we sure could use some rainfall. We are down inches since the beginning of the year, and the drought index continues to rise today. The fire danger index is higher than it was 24 hours ago, and the drought conditions across the state of Florida continue to increase. But despite that fact, with a frontal boundary sinking southward, we're not going to get a lot of rainfall this time around. 65 degrees the air temperature, dew point 64. Calm winds out there right now. You know, we're looking at temperatures across the region that are generally still pretty warm. We have 66 degrees Lakewood Ranch, 65 in Bradenton, 65 Sarasota, Venice coming in at 67. And yes, the dew point values are high today, but that's about to change. We're going to watch the dew point value and the humidities begin to decrease markedly because of this front coming through. And the point is, we'll get some sunshine and we'll get some increasing clouds, but I think as we head into the evening, we'll be lucky to get a 20% chance of an isolated sprinkle. And that's about it. It really will not add much to the rainfall bucket. Now, we do have what we call a progressive weather system developing across the state, which means we'll get a series of fronts through here, and we'll get some chances of rainfall over the course of the next 7 days ahead. Now, multiple days with chances of rainfall, so that will be good. But none of them look like they're going to produce any kind of drenching rains for us, and that's important to get as conditions continue to dry and we enter into the thunderstorm season where those wildfires are likely to spread because of isolated lightning strikes that spawn some of those fires. Across the region, sky cover, yeah, we got a little bit of cloud cover out there, but it's not too terribly bad. Winds are coming up out of the south today and continue to provide moisture across the region. Temperatures generally everywhere you look will probably top out pretty close to the 80-degree mark this afternoon, and you will feel kind of a humid feel to the air as our winds turn southwest, so moisture on the increase, but that sort of comes to an end as we head into the evening and that front approaches. Cloud cover will begin to thicken as we head into the evening. Winds will start to shift to the north as the front begins to move through, and we may catch an isolated brief sprinkle. Put the rain chance at 20% at about, well, between 7 and 10 o'clock tonight, and really that might be generous. Once the front moves through, winds shift to the north, drier air moves in, and we are in for several really beautiful days. Look at all these reports over the last 24 hours of wind damage, of tornadoes back toward areas of the heartland. That is going to stay put. We will not see any of that severe weather move into the state of Florida. Our frontal boundary continues to sag south, and yes, we'll get some rain showers in the northern part of the state, which is good. They're in a drought situation up there, but we will not see anything in the way of any kind of major rainfall for us. In fact, if you look for thunderstorm activity across our state today, it's going to be on the other coast because of that strong southwest wind in advance of that frontal boundary. That southwest wind is going to keep the other sea breeze close to the coast, and that's where you might see a few scattered showers. High pressure builds in after the front moves through, and we are in for several days of really, really beautiful weather. Forecast looks like this. Beach and boating, about 10-knot wind today, but those winds will be picking up tonight. Another reason that we'll have to be careful, because those winds will be rather breezy tomorrow. Don't be surprised, boaters, if we see a small craft advisory for some gusty winds coming into the picture Wednesday or Thursday. Then we look for, as we head into the weekend, again, some increasing clouds as another front moves through on Saturday. That one kind of stalls out, brings us a chance of rain. On Sunday, another front approaches, bringing us a chance of rain late Sunday into Monday. And then on Tuesday, finally, we clear out. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there this morning. So far, so good. There's a couple little blips, aren't there? State Road 64, starting to see some congestion up there at this hour. And then if we're heading into Sarasota County, those roads aren't too bad quite yet. Not too much to see on the roads just yet. Everything is looking pretty clear out there this morning. A little farther south in the area, those roads are looking pretty decent too. Not too much to see as you go a little bit farther south if you're heading toward Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda. That is your first alert traffic, 519.
Happening in Florida, there might soon be some changes to visitation rules in state prisons. Under the current policy, inmates are allowed visits for up to 6 hours on weekends. But the proposed change would limit the number of visits to every other weekend for only 2 hours at a time. Now, those with relatives inside the prisons think the new rules will create new problems, but the state feels otherwise. Here's both sides.
The amendments will reduce the contraband being introduced into the institutions and provide an opportunity for additional visitation during unusual circumstances.
Cutting back visitation is just going to increase your contraband problem and increase the violence as if there's not enough already. Limiting visits is going to cause inmates to act out and want to do drugs.
The State Department of Corrections held a public hearing yesterday in Tallahassee. About 100 people spoke against the rule change. It'll be interesting to watch this thing play out in Tallahassee. Certainly two sides to that story.
There is, very much so. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Panera Bread is the latest to make headlines this week after a data breach. We're going to have the latest on what they are doing to help keep their customers safe.
And next half hour, the latest about that person behind the YouTube shooting yesterday in Northern California. It's 5:21, and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
SCF of Manatee and Sarasota will be offering a STEM healthcare camp this summer for high school students. Now, that camp will give students the opportunity to explore the roles and responsibility of healthcare professionals. The camp is a week-long program that starts at the end of July at the Medical Technology and Simulation Center at SCF Lakewood Ranch. Now, for more information, if you want to get your kids involved, you can visit our website, mysuncoast.com.
Well, after a nationwide search, the city of Northport didn't have to go too far for its new fire chief. Scott Titus was deputy chief. He now takes over at a time of change within the department. He has to hire nearly a dozen new firefighters to meet the demands of that growing city.
What's most important to us is that we keep meeting the needs of the community and that we keep providing the level of service that they expect from us.
Now, Chief Titus hopes to have those 11 positions filled within the next few months. So they've now filled their fire chief. Next, they've got to fill their police chief position there.
Well, Panera Bread is responding this morning after a report said that customers' information was posted on its website.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have details in Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook removing Russian accounts.
The social media site recently deleted hundreds of pages linked to a Russian agency that spread misinformation during the 2016 presidential election. Security experts say it's more evidence the organization is still attempting to sway public opinion. And Spotify enters its first full day of stock market trading, valued at nearly $27 billion.
Well, shares of the music streaming service fell about 10% from its opening price on Tuesday. Even so, its market value is in the top 10 for tech companies after one day of trading. And technology is good for some things, but perhaps not for police sketches.
This wide-mouthed guy is a computer-generated composite for a wanted man in England. Twitter users are now begging to see his mugshot when he's finally found.
Maybe he really does look like that in a Snapchat filter.
Those are your Tech Bites.
I could see it. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by the Laughing Cow Cheese.
The Laughing Cow cheese is the perfect snack, no matter how you snack.
Do your thing.
It's spreadable.
Do your thing.
Dippable. Dunkable. Whatever you wannable. So however you snack, snack like you. The Laughing Cow.
Allergies with sinus congestion and pressure? You won't find relief here. Go to the pharmacy counter for powerful Claritin D. While the leading allergy spray relieves 6 symptoms, Claritin D relieves 8, including sinus congestion and pressure. Claritin D relieves more.
What if there were a cleaner that didn't have the harsh ingredients of other cleaners and killed 99.9% of germs with only 3 ingredients? There is. New Lysol Daily Cleanser. What it takes to protect.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
ABC 7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Justice must be done somehow, some way, someday, and really right now.
Today, many will gather to remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s mountaintop speech, the change his son is calling for 50 years after his assassination.
Dry and hot weather conditions are the perfect combinations for wildfires. I'm live at the Florida Forest Service in Bradenton with more on what you can do to keep your home safe.
And we're learning more about the YouTube workplace shooter. We'll tell you why her family wasn't entirely surprised she shot her co-workers. Those stories in the First Alert forecast right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Welcome back and welcome to Wednesday, April the 4th. I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Ray Collins. Good to see you. Early morning risers out there. John Scalzi has details now of the midweek forecast. Hey, John.
Right.
Good morning to y'all.
Good morning.
We have some changing weather coming up over the next couple of days. It's kind of nice. I guess I could call it a double-edged sword, right? We got the yin and yang of weather this morning, if you want. We have some changing weather in the form of perhaps a few showers around. That's the good news, I suppose, because we could use the rainfall, certainly, as we approach a very dry condition across the entire state. But we're not going to get much rainfall, which is a pity because we really could use some. We're down for the year significantly, and a little bit of rain would be a good thing. We could get a little extra cloud cover during the second half of the day, but we're going to start off mostly sunny. It's going to be a nice day to start. Rain showers still way back toward the panhandle. As this whole system gradually gets closer to us, it falls apart. So all of the severe weather that you've heard about with this system over the last 24 hours has no impact on our weather whatsoever. We stay pretty much dry right straight through the next 24 hours, but then we get some delightful weather headed our way. Titan radar not showing anything around for your morning commute. Should be clean drive. Our temperatures are generally running in the mid-60s everywhere inland and close to the coast. And our daytime high temperature today will probably top out near the 80-degree mark, similar to yesterday, but a degree or two cooler. Complete forecast coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. First off, in Manatee County, some buildup there on 301 southbound as you head toward the base of your TV screen there. Also, let's check into Sarasota County now. Not too much to report there. Again, just that issue on the 301 at the University. Otherwise, pretty clear. Let's go farther south now into the South County region, and we'll find no, all clear right now. Nothing much to report. 5:32 right now on your Wednesday morning.
Well, it has been another dry week here on the Suncoast and more wildfires across the state and here in our area.
The State Forest Service has some tips on how you can stay safe. ABC's Marla Spence is live in Bradenton with the story. Marla?
Hey, good morning, guys. According to the Florida Forest Service, the state of Florida has a year-long fire season. Dry weather conditions, the lightning season, as well as the continued growth of grass and bushes can contribute to wildfires throughout the year. So here's what you can do to keep your home safe if you live in or nearby a wooded area. Patrick Mahoney with the Florida Forest Service says bushes like these should be cut down low and be at least waist high. He says you should have all of these leaves raked from underneath those bushes because that will keep flames from burning up those bushes and plants and from igniting your home. Also, make sure your yard is clean and green, meaning grass should be alive and cut down low.
This is a good way to keep that fire from creeping up to your home. The owner here has taken these rocks and put them down. That way when the fire creeps up to it, the fire will actually stop because everyone knows rock won't burn. So the fire has no chance to get up close to the house.
Guys, it's also important to know that you should keep your gutters and also your roofs clean because flames can travel up to a mile under the right conditions, and if flames hit your roof, your house could go up in flames. I'm Marla Spence reporting live in Bradenton for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Some great tips. Thank you, Marla, for the latest on this story and breaking news in the forecast. Check out our app. It's under My Suncoast or WWSB.
New details this morning about yesterday's shooting at YouTube headquarters in Northern California. Police have identified the shooter, and we're hearing now more from her family.
That woman shot herself after injuring at least 3 others. Her father says she was not happy with her employer, and he was concerned that this would have happened. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the story.
This is the woman police say opened fire, unleashing chaos at YouTube's headquarters Tuesday afternoon.
I heard like maybe 15, 17 shots.
2 women and a man shot. Colleagues scrambling to stop the bleeding.
It's a gunshot wound, so I put like a tourniquet on her.
As others rushed out of the campus in San Bruno, California, hands in the air as police and SWAT members moved in.
It's an active shooter at 901 Cherry.
The shooter then killing herself, police identifying her as 39-year-old Nasim Agdam.
My name is Nasim Sabs.
Seen here on one of her multiple YouTube pages with tens of thousands of subscribers and millions of page views. In recent rants complaining that YouTube took down some of her videos and slashed her ad revenue.
I'm being discriminated and filtered on YouTube, and I'm not the only one.
Her brother, asking that his face not be shown, says the family grew concerned when she went missing from her grandmother's house in San Diego and was found sleeping in her car here in Northern California hours before the shooting.
And she had a problem with YouTube, so we called that cop again and told him that there's a reason she went all the way from San Diego to that.
Police tell us they're still looking into the motive, but say there is no evidence the 3 people who were shot and are still hospitalized this morning were specifically targeted. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, San Bruno, California.
And back here on the Sun Coast, an arrest has been made after a 50-year-old woman was found dead in the woods earlier this week. Detectives have arrested and charged Dakota Gibson with the woman's murder. Veronica Polite was the woman found dead early Monday morning in Bradenton. An autopsy is now underway to determine her official cause of death.
Sarasota police are still searching for these 2 thieves caught on camera. They stole up to $100,000 worth of jewelry and coins last week. Last Thursday, about 1:30 a.m., the 2 pried open the back door of Estate Coin and Jewelry on Main in downtown Sarasota. In less than a minute, they say, police say they smashed cases and got away with rare coins and jewelry. The previous day, police believe the same pair walked into Milan's Jewelry on the same block. One of the employees there recalls them acting suspiciously.
They were looking for something very specific, and they had a very specific price, and they wore sunglasses. But usually people don't shop like that. It's more like, especially with jewelry, it's more like a passion. You come in, you see something you like.
If you think you recognize this pair, please call Sarasota Police.
For the first time ever, the FDA has issued a mandatory recall for an herbal supplement, one used for chronic pain and an alternative to opioids. Several Kratom products made by Triangle Pharmaceuticals tested positive for salmonella. Now, the FDA says it finally issued the mandatory recall after the company refused to comply with a voluntary recall. Now, if you're not familiar, Kratom is a plant native to Malaysia. Its leaves are traditionally crushed and made into tea and pill form. It has a sedative side effect. It also used to create and treat chronic pain, as well as an opioid alternative, sometimes even helping the withdrawal process. Now, Kratom is currently banned in several states across the country, but not here in Florida.
Happening today in Tennessee, 50,000 people are expected to gather at the National Civil Rights Museum to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The museum is the former Lorraine Hotel, where the civil rights pioneer was shot and killed 50 years ago. Today, several events are planned for this afternoon.
Well, it was a historic night in downtown Memphis where people gathered to mark 50 years since Dr. King's mountaintop speech. Reporter Joyce Peterson was at the emotional event.
Watching the MLK Mountaintop Speech commemoration, Michelle, Carla, Keith, and David, sanitation workers from Cincinnati.
Why they was treating us like that? Like, you know, I mean, it's a different culture, and I'm glad he fought for us, and that's why we're here.
And I think everybody should experience. To know where you're going, you have to know where you come from.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to be here and
and see this and take it all in.
Remembering MLK's famous speech with powerful speeches of their own, AFSCME President Lee Saunders, Ambassador Andrew Young, former President Barack Obama in a video tribute, and MLK's children, Bernice and Martin.
You know, Dad taught us, and I'm about to close, apologize for my lengthiness, that it only takes a few good women and men to bring about change. But I know our God didn't bring us this far to leave us. That we must do something to protect the lives of the next generation, not just in terms of guns, but in terms of the social decay.
An inspiring evening that hopefully will lead to inspiring a future generation.
I hope we can all do better. I hope we can, it takes a little bit of everybody to do some self-evaluation, and we all can do a part. So yes, I hope we can get it better.
And now I wish I'd brought my kids and my grandkids. And the next time I come, I will be.
And here's a live look out of Washington, D.C. this morning, where the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial is located. Lots of people will be gathering there as well.
Yeah, it's on a 4-acre park there. It was built in 2011. The statue is 30 feet high in West Potomac Park, so it's quite a tourist attraction. You bet today will be particularly busy there along the National Mall.
Yes, it will.
All right, switching gears now from Washington, D.C. to Venice, Florida. Different kind of history here. 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's right.
Oh, we remember that from elementary school.
That's true, that's true. And there's the two of the replicas are taking off today from the dock from Fisherman's Wharf near the 41 bypass in Venice. So you still have literally a few more hours and nothing more to go out and see the two boats as they shove off today.
That's right. The replicas of the Pinta and the Nina are out there. No word yet on the Santa Maria.
Still looking?
See, I remembered all of those, yes.
Yes, very impressive.
All right, still ahead, the latest in First Alert traffic and
a new law in Malaysia would punish those who spread fake news. This is in Malaysia. Thousands of dollar fines are possible. Details of that story anyway. But first, here's John Scalzi.
10 out of 10 chance the kids get to go to the outside to have their recess today. Should be beautiful, near sunny, partly sunny skies near the 80-degree mark. Don't really see a problem anywhere. Now, as you maybe take that beach walk this evening near sunset, there could be a little bit of a problem with increasing cloud cover, kind of marring the beauty of our normally spectacular sunsets. Increasing clouds, we'll call it. UV index for most of the day, though, coming in high at a 10. We'll have the complete forecast for you in a sec.
Fun for the whole family, the 26th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County, fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment with headliners the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Maiden Cane, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4, children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Venice Airport Festival Grounds.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
65-degree air temperature. We have a dew point coming in at 64, so pretty close together. Humidity still kind of high. It feels it, too, as you head out the door. There's kind of a humid feel to the air. That will be coming to an end with a cold front sinking our way. Going to kind of fall apart as it moves through here, but it will take our relatively quiet winds and pick them up significantly. It'll be breezy over the course of the next 48 hours, and that breezy wind will draw down drier air, making it feel pretty comfortable for several days in a row. 66 Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch coming in at 67, 65 Sarasota, Venice at 68, so is Inglewood, Longboat Key coming in at 69, and inland temperatures just about the same. We have across the region a lot of sunshine to start the day. That'll help boost our temperatures pretty nicely as we head into about the 3 o'clock hour. We'll have temperatures that'll be pretty close to the 80-degree mark. Then I think for the second half of the day, we'll start to see slowly increasing cloud cover as that frontal boundary begins to approach. And then by maybe around 7 o'clock, we might work out a shower or two as the front actually moves south of us. It'll probably be clearing our area by midnight, and skies will start to clear. The 20% chance of rain is really not a big deal. I don't think we'll see any thunderstorms. I don't think we'll see appreciable rainfall totals. And the spotty little showers that we get are really going to be few and far between, so they won't add much to the rainfall bucket. Here's your futurecast hour by hour through the day. Winds out of the south, generally light, switching early on to the southwest, becoming a little bit breezy. Temperatures across the region topping out today, pretty close to the 80 mark by early afternoon. And then as we head into the late afternoon, we'll start to see these winds start to shift out of the west. Clouds start to move in, and then maybe as we head into the evening hours, and I put the 20% chance at about 7 o'clock p.m. It'll probably be a little later than that, but before midnight, and those showers kind of moving through pretty quickly, and there won't be many of them. Then we clear out, the winds shift to the north, the drier air moves in, and we are left with a beautiful afternoon. Lots of rainfall just to the north of us, but those rain showers not bothering your morning commute. We're still pretty dry out there. Now, over the next several days, our winds will be picking up, but boaters today, they're coming in out of the north eventually this evening at about 5 to 10. But overnight tonight, they'll be picking up, so don't let that catch you by surprise. Light chop, though, for most of the day. Should be a pretty nice boating day. Get out there early enough. We'll put in that 20% chance of a shower late this evening before midnight. But again, it's a very small chance. Most of the day rain-free. 80 our high tomorrow. Will probably be a little warmer tomorrow, actually, even though we have a front moving through. But it'll be a drier air. So when the sun goes down, the air won't retain the heat. And we'll actually end up overnight tomorrow night being a little bit cooler. We warm back up nicely, though, on Friday to about 83. Again, low humidity air in place. And then as we head into the weekend, a series of little disturbances will bring unsettled weather for several days. Not rainouts, not on any of those days, and rainfall totals not all that great, but we will have shower chances each day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside. Check on your first alert traffic once again this morning. Roads are pretty clear. A little blip right there. State Road 70 just past 301. Those are normal things we start to see get busy right around this time of the day. If we're heading a little bit farther south into the Sarasota County area, we're starting to see some big slowdowns right there on University Parkway, Fruitville, and Bee Ridge Road as well. A little farther south in the area, the roads are pretty clear out there today. Not too much congestion or gridlock at this time in the morning. Everything a little farther south is also looking pretty good at 5:49.
Here's a live look at State Road 70 in Bradenton. Often a very busy spot we often mention during our traffic updates. Right now, though, flowing relatively smoothly. This is the area between 301 and Interstate 75, a live look, and so far so good at 5:49. Back on the news now, Malaysia is cracking down on so-called fake news with a new law. People who spread false reports could be fined $123,000 and face up to 6 years behind bars. Critics say the law will restrict free speech and dissent.
Do you have to wear a fake nose, too?
You don't have to. It's optional. Talk to your lawyer. The information minister says its focus goes beyond politics. Now the U.S. State Department is weighing in on a new law in a statement saying the U.S. is concerned about this bill's impact on freedom of expression in Malaysia, as well as its global reach, which could impact U.S. citizens and companies.
And a plot twist for the Netflix mega hit Stranger Things. Did its creators steal someone else's idea for the show? Filmmaker Charlie Kessler is suing creators Matt and Ross Duffer, alleging that the brothers created the show around his idea. Now, Kessler says he discussed the plot of his short film Montauk about top secret government experiments, which is at the heart of Stranger Things, with the Duffers at a film festival party back in 2014. And Kessler said he didn't know about similarities between his own work and Stranger Things until the series premiered on Netflix 2 years later in 2016. He is now suing.
It's a real ticklish thing when production houses receive ideas. I spent a brief time working for a local production house. And when we received ideas, be very careful, because if we read it and then do something similar, and so we can't accept a lot of things.
Yes, and this one is interesting too, because there are, like, a lot of big shows get sued. The Voice, ABC's Lost back in the day for copying, but this one has a lot of similarities. This guy even pitched Winona Ryder as the lead of this new series, which Winona did go on to star in Stranger Things. So there are some, and the word Stranger Things were used a couple times in his pitch, so could be interesting.
5:51 right now. We'll have today's top news headlines just a bit, but first, a peek outside our window. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go.
Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Here's some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Sarasota police released this video of last week's overnight jewelry store, a burglary on Main Street in downtown Sarasota. They're still looking for the pair that stole up to $100,000 in a matter of minutes at Estate Coin and Jewelry Galleria. This is video of them the previous day. We'll show you video next hour of the actual heist.
Plus, today marks the 50th anniversary of the day Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Remembrances are going on all over the country, including both Memphis, Tennessee, and King's home city of Atlanta.
And police believe a worker unhappy with her bosses and the policies at YouTube opened fire at co-workers yesterday in Northern California. There were several injuries, and the shooter then took her own life.
Coming up in the next hour, antibiotic-resistant germs are popping up in at least 27 states. We're going to have the details on whether or not it is hit here in Florida.
Oh boy. Also next hour, I had a chance to go to the Rays game last weekend with my camera and romped around and talked to the president of the Rays about the status of the team, because the attendance is always the lowest in the league. The record is 1-4 again this season. So will they move to Ybor City? Will they move to Montreal? Well, those stories and
why they want more people from the Sarasota and Manatee County areas, too.
As local angle, thank you. That's why you're a good co-anchor.
Oh, thank you.
There's a live picture right now of the Rosemary District. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on this Wednesday morning on ABC 7.